challenges, in our opinion, seem to have overwhelmed our security institutions.
The governors are supposed to be the state security officers of their state.
There is need for us to at least engage the traditional rulers.
We need to do something about our porous borders.
We have to own it from the unit level to the ward level to the local government to state.
Mr. President, the importance of today for us is for us to take action.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Hello and welcome to the program Inside the Senate. The Senate is billed to resume from its annual recess next week, precisely on the 14th of September 2021. How time flies. Before they resume, we will continue to review some of their activities before they recessed. Our focus on this episode is on their various calls and interventions in handling matters of insecurity in the country through motions and bills. In a recent development, the Senate Joint Committee on Finance, National Planning, Banking, Petroleum, Gas Resources, as well as Foreign and Local Debts was on duty for 3 days last week, hosting stakeholders to a public hearing on the 2022-2024 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MTEF) and Fiscal Strategy Paper (FSP). We will also bring you a report of their meeting with stakeholders in the Nigerian economy. All of these plus our regular segments coming up after the break. I am Hussaina Amin Aboki. Don't go away.
The Senate to send a message to the President
to reap opportunities from that.
To raise a matter of urgent public importance.
And we are aware that when this particular motion comes up,
for a longer term development, arise to second the motion.
Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Welcome back. Before we proceed, the management and staff of New Age Network wish to use this opportunity to condole the family, friends and associates of Senator Bala Ibn Allah over the recent murder of his son, Captain Abdul Karim Bala Ibn Allah, on Tuesday, the 31st of August 2021. May Allah repose his soul and grant him Al-Jannah Firdaus. Also, Senate President Ahmad Lawan conveyed the condolence of the entire senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to the family of the deceased Captain Abdul Karim Bala Ibn Allah when he visited them on Wednesday, the 1st of September 2021. While praying that Al-Jannah Firdaus be the abode of the deceased, he urged security agencies to intensify investigation with a view to arresting and prosecuting the murderers. Before these unfortunate and other similar occurrences on insecurity, senators have at different occasions reported the challenge of insecurity in their various states and constituencies. Senator Estefanis Gyang set the ball rolling on Wednesday, the 14th of April 2021, with the report of an attack and killing of some minors in his constituency. He came via personal explanation.
A group of minors, women and men, were attacked and 8 of them were gruesomely killed by assailants. And this incident, Mr. President, has thrown my constituency into a mourning mood, particularly the Kuru community of Jos South, where this attack and assassination of our citizens took place.
Because matters under personal explanation are not subject to debate, there was no debate taken. However, a minute's silence was observed in honor of the citizens that lost their lives. In a similar motion under a matter of urgent public importance same day, Senator Sam Egu called for urgent intervention by the federal government to end the attack on some communities in Ebonyi State.
On 30th of March 2021, over 18 indigenes of Egedeged, Obegu, and Amazu communities in each local government area of Ebonyi State, including a priest, were gruesomely murdered in cold blood by rampaging herdsmen.
This is becoming very, very worrisome. That a country that goes about says that it's under the rule of law that issues of this nature keep repeating themselves on daily basis.
The following resolutions were adopted at the end of the deliberations. Direct the Nigerian police to investigate the matter, arrest and prosecute the perpetrators of the dastardly act, and urge the federal government to deploy security men to the area to prevent a reoccurrence of the act. Also reporting a similar development under matters of urgent public importance, Tuesday the 27th of April 2021, Senator Muhammad Sani Musa from Niger State drew Senate's attention to the situation in Shiroro, Munya as well as Rafi local government areas of the state.
About 42 communities across the two local government areas of Shiroro and Munya local government have so far fallen under the Boko Haram control. I can authoritatively confirm that the Boko Haram terrorists have mounted their flags in many of the villages they have captured, such as Aure, Alawa, and Magami.
The motion was exhaustively debated with some senators using the opportunity to report the situation in their areas.
I represent Niger North. In Niger North, Mariga local government is also in constant attack. The animals, most of the people around there are herders, farmers. They are being driven away. And sadly, a case in point is when you look at the presence of a military formation in Kontagora town, their land is said to extend into Mariga local government. They've driven all the farmers around that area. In contrast, the bandits have now occupied those areas.
The tragedy is that those of us who are in sympathy with them are also buffeted. In the southeast, soldiers are killed, police are killed, police stations are destroyed, innocent people are also killed, kidnapped on a daily basis. Same goes for southwest, north central, northwest, and other parts of this country.
A lot of billions of naira have been voted for security services. Nothing is coming out of it. We wouldn't wait until our nation gets bombed. Let us shout and call for foreign support.
After more contributions, the following resolutions were adopted amongst others. Call on the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff as well as the Inspector General of Police to deploy troops to the affected areas. Urge the President to order massive recruitment into the nation's security forces. The Senate did not stop at these resolutions. One of the actions it took going forward was to invite the nation's military and other security chiefs for consultations. And so, on Thursday, the 6th of May 2021, the Senate hosted them with a view to interacting with them and fashioning ways to end the challenge. The Senate President kick-started plenary with this welcome address in which he commended the nation's security forces.
This Senate, or even the entire National Assembly, is and will remain a partner in progress with you. On behalf of my colleagues, I want to commend our armed forces and other security agencies for fighting the myriad of security challenges across the country.
The discussions, however, held behind closed doors in the light of security exigencies. Let's take a break to open the Senate notebook. When we return, the 3-day public hearing on MTEF and FSP, which spanned Wednesday the 1st to Friday the 3rd of September 2021. Don't go away.
Petitions are grievances brought before the Senate by constituents through their senators or any other senator. In presenting the petition, the senator states the nature of the problem and what action the complainant is seeking from the Senate over it. Senate acts on the petition through its Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions, only when it is established that the matter is not before a court of law. In investigating the petition, all stakeholders are summoned with the objective of hearing the issues raised in the petition. Thereafter, the findings and recommendations of the committee are compiled in a report and presented to the Senate plenary. The Senate approves the report or rejects it as the case may be, and the decision communicated to the parties concerned for implementation.
The only way out of the pandemic is for the population to observe the recommended measures advised by the NCDC. The Senate Committees on Health and Primary Health Care and Communicable Diseases will continue to engage with the Federal Ministry of Health and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19.
Welcome back. In the committee room on Wednesday, the 1st of September 2021, the Senate Joint Committee on Finance, National Planning, Banking, Petroleum, Gas Resources, as well as Foreign and Local Debts, hosted stakeholders to a public hearing on the 2022-2024 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MTEF) and Fiscal Strategy Paper (FSP). The MTEF FSP, which was presented to the Senate by President Muhammadu Buhari in a letter on Tuesday, the 13th of July 2021, is the document on which the parameters of the 2022 budget is going to be predicated. Upon its presentation to the Senate, it was thereafter referred to the Joint Committee for more legislative action. It was in furtherance to this action that the committee held a 3-day public hearing that spanned Wednesday the 1st and Friday the 3rd of September 2021 to enable stakeholders make contributions. Day 1 of the hearing, Wednesday the 1st of September, saw the Senate President declaring the hearing open.
Banking, insurance, and other financial institutions.
He expressed gladness at the collaboration of the committees and other stakeholders at organizing the hearing. The Senate President's speech was delivered on his behalf by the committee chairman, Senator Solomon Olamilekan.
I am not just happy with the collaboration of our committee, but also the involvement of other stakeholders in what is additionally consistent with the Senate operational procedure. Because of this, we expect the interactive session to be rigorous and for issues on the 2022 to 2024 medium-term expenditure framework and the fiscal strategy paper to be argued with essential fact, given its role in the upcoming financial year.
The committee's vice chairman, Senator Jibril Issa, read the chairman's speech in which he disclosed that the committee in March this year had constituted an investigation into remittances by agencies into the consolidated revenue account of the government as well as its importance.
The investigation, which is still ongoing, is targeted at the goal of boosting revenues of the government in face of dwindling resources from traditional revenue source of crude oil. Achieving these goals requires us to look inward towards revenue generation by the MDAs.
With this, the floor was opened for stakeholders' contributions, with the State Minister of Budget and National Planning giving an overview of the gross oil and gas revenue projection for 2021, as well as achievements recorded as at June.
The gross oil and gas revenue for 2021 was projected at 5.19 trillion. As of June, 1.85 trillion was realized out of the prorated sum of 2.59 trillion. This represents 71.3% performance. For the budget, 2021 budget implementation update, revenue performance is from January again to June. As of June 2021, the federal government's retained revenue was 2.23 trillion. This is 67.3% of pro rata target.
When it was the turn of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the committee chairman sought explanation from their representative over some policies viewed as not being in favor of the nation's financial policies, like
the rates we are using for the budget is different from the rates we are exchanging dollars. 2, proscription of the BDC, sales of forex by the banks. And I want you to look at that from the angle that are we not empowering the MDs of these banks?
The CBN's Deputy Governor in charge of Economic Policy, Mr. Kingsley Obiora, responded.
You talked about dual exchange rate. I'd like to mention clearly that the CBN only recognizes the NAFEX market as the operational market for exchange rate dealings in the country. You talked about BDC rates, sir, or rather proscription of BDCs. BDCs themselves were created to serve only small end users, people who want $5,000 or less. That was why BDCs were created, and that was why we empowered them. But over time, we found that they've sort of abandoned that calling and gone into other things. And we felt that it is easier and better and faster to target banks that have 25 billion in capital than BDCs that some don't even have shops.
But the vice chairman of the committee expressed disagreement with the submission.
If you observe lapses in their operations, what you need to do is to institute various corrective measures, okay? And when those measures are not adhered to, you cannot go into outright proscription. That is the way it should go. Whether you like it or not. Some of these BDCs have been there for a very long time. They've invested monies too in various structures. And overnight, you just came up with the policy measure and said, you have been proscribed. To me, that is not right.
The Debt Management Office, DMO, on its part, observed that debt service to revenue ratio is not comfortable and therefore advised that revenue generation should be intensified.
The recommendation from us really is that we should begin to focus on revenue. We recently, under the new medium-term debt management strategy, we increased the debt to GDP limit to 40%. That's because of all of this increasing borrowing, as well as the promissory notes that are being approved and all of that. But it doesn't really mean we should get to that 40% if we haven't made significant improvements in revenue.
I think the time has come for government to look at the revenue generating agencies with a view to helping them put in place infrastructure that will enable them to do more and do very well.
From the Nigerian Customs Service were lamentations by the Controller General, retired Colonel Hamid Ali, over the exemption of carbonated drinks from being taxed even when they are in the same category with products injurious to health like alcohol and tobacco, which are taxed with a view to discouraging Nigerians from their consumption.
Today, Coca-Cola is produced in Nigeria and paying no excise. It's only in Nigeria that you find Coca-Cola products and they're not paying excise duty. All other carbonated drinks are also injurious to our health. So if we equally tax tobacco and alcoholic beverages, I see no reason why we should not tax the carbonated drinks.
For the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the Group Managing Director, Mr. Mele Kyari, blamed their inability to remit their earning into government coffers on subsidy payment, which runs into billions of nairas amongst other things, because the 2021 budget did not provide for subsidy. According to him, the NNPC as a policy maintained the 162 naira per litre pump price even when it imports the product at 256 naira per litre. Even then, he added that the 2022 budget provides for subsidy while disclosing ongoing process to exit it.
There's an ongoing process that is engaging organized level, civil society organization, and very many other institutions of government that are involved in this process to arrive at a landing on how and when we can exit the subsidy regime, to be very precise. And that is why, if you see the 2022 Appropriation Act, there is a provision for subsidy in the year 2022. The reason is that we are not sure we can conclude this process before the end of this year.
The GMD also gave MTF assumptions as suggested by the NNPC in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Finance as follows. Oil prices of $57 per barrel in 2022, $61 per barrel in 2023, and $62 per barrel in 2024, predicated on a national production of 1.883 million barrels per day in 2022, 2.234 million barrels per day in 2023, and 2.218 million barrels per day in 2024. Day 2 of the hearing, Thursday, the 2nd of September 2021 was kick-started with submissions by more agencies, one of which was the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS. Its chairman spoke on their achievements from both oil and non-oil revenue.
The service as at June, that is half year, have achieved 2.762 trillion, representing 43% of the projected revenue collection for the year. The non-oil revenue collection during the period, that is the 6-month period, was 2.1 trillion as against 1.5 trillion that we collected in the year 2020. The oil revenue collected for the same period was 644 billion as against 971 billion collected in corresponding period, representing 33% decrease in the oil collection.
The Federal Housing Authority was next, with their Chief Executive Officer, Senator Gbenga Ashafa, making a presentation.
Projected revenue for 2021, the budget is 4.38 billion. Sales income will account for 2.5 billion, representing 57%, while estate-related sources will account for 43%. The authority hopes to achieve its targeted revenue by sustaining the current revenue drive put in place by the current management that has just spent only 12 months, and we have introduced new areas.
So my own comment will just be to encourage, to charge you to continue in this direction so that FHA, continues to remain a viable institution and also an agency of government that will continue to make contributions to the government coffers.
The new Commander General of the Civil Defense Corps also gave a rundown of the projection and achievements from 2019.
In 2019, sir, we projected 390 million, but we're able to get the revenue of 422 million in that 2019. In 2020, sir, we projected 430 million, and we're able to get 444 million, over 444 million. In 2021, sir, we also projected 490 million, but between January and July, we're able to generate 320 million.
At this point, the committee charged them to do more to generate more revenues. The third day, Friday the 3rd of September 2021, marked the end of the public hearing, with more government agencies making presentations.
In 2019, we did not generate any revenue. But in 2020, we generated 2.4 billion naira, and all is remitted to the federal government account. In 2021, by November, we are expecting 642 million naira from the silos concession.
What you have before you, sir, is the creative ways the NDLA has adopted to see that from the work it does, money comes to the federal government. We have visa clearance, which of course is what we do using our own overhead cost. And this visa clearance depends on countries which have said, we want to see that this individual who is coming to our country is not a drug suspect or is in the database of NDLA as a drug convict.
After many other submissions, both verbally and documented, the committee chairman ended the hearing with these words of commitment.
What we are doing is in nation interest. None of this we are asking for is coming to any one of us. It's to better the lot of this country. All of us here are privileged people. There are over 100 million Nigeria out there that are not privileged. And the only way to get to them is to ensure that we get things right.
Deliberations on the MTF and FSP are strategic to the national budget and precedes the presentation of the budget to the National Assembly. We will close the program as usual with our profile segment. Stay tuned for our Senator of the Week.
Senator Stella Odua represents Anambra North Senatorial District. She was born on the 5th of January 1962. After early education at both primary and secondary levels, she studied accounting and obtained a Bachelor of Science degree from St. Paul's College, Lawrenceville in the United States of America. Back home in Nigeria in 1983, Senator Stella Odua had a stint with the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and left in 1992 to establish her own company by name Sea Petroleum and Gas Company (SPG), an independent petroleum marketer. Senator Stella Odua joined politics and was fully involved in the campaign that led to the success of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan at the polls. She was subsequently appointed Minister of Aviation, a position she held from 2011 to 2014. She contested and won election to the Senate twice, serving the first term from 2015 to 2019 and the second term from 2019 till date. In the Senate, Senator Stella Odua holds the position of Vice Chairman, Senate Committee on Appropriation, and a member of several other committees. Her legislative interests include women and children development, entrepreneurial development, education, as well as economy.
This brings us to the end of the program this week. Join us again for another fresh edition. Do follow Inside the Senate on all our social media handles showing on your screen. Thanks for watching.